Okay, so 1.2 number 7, part A. So I'm supposing that an object is launched from a point 320 feet above the Earth. Object.
Oh my gosh, this was so easy.
Right?
So
Yeah.
Like 5A would have been tons easier.
that's 320 feet. And that's unfortunately Bill.
Oh gosh.
An initial velocity of 128 feet per second up. Okay, and the only force acting on it thereafter is gravity. Ew.
For real. Definitely gonna die.
Poor Bill.
Yeah. There's no terminal velocity for
I've
that.
got a Diffie cube for you.
And then g is 32 feet per second squared. Okay, and then first find the highest altitude obtained by the object.
Please.
What is that?
And pH equals conservation of energy.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
It's a
no, I'm not
differential.
using that one.
Oh,
I'm using this one.
ew.
P
It's
double
so
prime
easy,
equals G.
It's so much easier than double integrating. Come on.
Fine.
I'll laugh at that.
Right? The acceleration acting on this thing is only due to gravity. If you choose to write down Newton's law, that would be the vector sum of the forces is the mass times the acceleration is a vector, right? All at Cup 3 land. And then you're like, oh, but there isn't really a sum of forces, there's really just gravity. Right? And the force due to gravity is, so mg is ma
Yeah.
Take a lyre.
slash you some m's, right? Acceleration is gravity. Cool.
Oh, jeez.
And then you just need to point things in the right direction. Be like, alright, so P double prime is G, which is 32 feet, and forget the units. Is 32, and that should be pointed down.
Well, unless you decided.
Unless you want to point gravity up and flip this whole picture over.
Or just point gravity up and don't flip it over and just have this kind of like.
I'm going to point positive that way.
Right.
Darn it.
But yeah, that's a choice you get to make, right? I would recommend making the right choice. But,
Wow.
yeah.
Every
Yeah.
choice is the right
I
choice.
always like to make gravity.
Okay, and then what? So here's your differential equation. First off, this is a
First order.
First order.
Second.
Second order. Don't you dare. Go, that's the one thing you had going for you.
okay. So this is a second order
Linear,
Non-homogeneous.
ordinary.
linear, non-homogeneous.
We should like pop popcorn around for all of these words.
Yeah.
Title.
Ordinary differential equation, right?
Yeah.
You wouldn't start at like x naught equals, or x equals x naught plus v naught t plus
Sure. You can start by noticing that you know
everything.
what the next solution, or what the... Yes, you could start by noticing that if the second derivative is a constant, right, then it's a quadratic function, right?
Interesting.
Okay, so integrate both sides, you get p prime is minus 32t plus a constant. You're like, oh, this constant's the initial velocity,
Yeah.
right? Because if I plug in t as 0, I get p prime at 0. Okay, so the initial velocity is what? 128, so you put that here. And then you're like, alright, so now I need to integrate both sides again. So I get p then is minus 16t squared plus 128t.
Plus 300.
X naught.
Yeah, plus some other constant, right? And this constant's the position at time 0, which is 320. And you just want to, at this point, double check your signs. So gravity is opposite of the initial velocity. Is that true for my picture? Yep. And opposite of initial height. Also true for my picture, right? You started above ground, not below. Okay, cool. So that's my P, but then part A is asking for the highest altitude attained. How do you find the highest altitude attained?
V not equals 0. Or V whatever is not 0.
Yeah, when
Or is
when
0.
something gets launched up in the air, right? When you throw something in the air, the highest point attained is the dead point, right? That's when the velocity is 0. Or you could take the derivative of P, right? You already have it.
Or you can just do minus b over 2a.
So take this, set it equal to 0. Yeah, or you could do minus b over 2a from this thing. Whatever. So
Why?
take p prime, set it equal to 0.
Oh, nice.
Get
64 16.
t
Oh,
is
that's 4.
whatever 128 divided by 32 is.
4. Nice.
Okay, so that's the highest you got, right? T is 4?
Nope. That's when.
Yeah, F now. That's a time thing, right? That's when he got as high as he was going to. So, how high did he ever get? Or how high was he at time 4?
Plug it in.
P of 4.
Yeah, P of 4. So,
I mean, technically that could be a way.
P of 4 is minus 16 squared is
A number?
256
It's just like a legit equals number.
plus 128 times 4
Yeah.
plus
Oh,
320
wow. That's crazy.
equals some power of 2.
Yeah.
Yes!
Oh, it's
Equals whatever number you
Yeah,
get.
no, that's dumb. The b over 2a is just like
256.
Boom, done.
256
Right
plus 320
Yeah,
is 576.
It
That's-
is.
that's
That's
the
the
number.
answer.
Equals whatever. I wasn't even paying attention. And then B, determine how long it takes for the object to fall to the ground.
Oh, well, 8 seconds.
Well, we didn't have to do it in the homework?
Oh, I didn't ask for that one?
Nope.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's not hard.
Okay. So how long does it take to fall to the ground? What do you do?
When p is 0.
Double that thing and then add the other thing.
It's when p
What?
is when p is 0.
Yeah, when P is 0.
Yeah.
Take this equation, set it equal to 0 and
And toss out
solve.
the negative.
Wait,
One of them's going to be
double
negative.
one thing?
Pitch that.
Yeah, the time it takes to get to the top.
Or just like create a whole
And
nother
then you
set
add
of
the
differential
time it takes to fall
equations.
to the bottom.
yeah, but where does that b squared over 2a thing? We saw that
That's
on
the vertex of the
Yeah, it's a vertex of the
Parabola.
problem.
homie.
It's negative B over 2A is the vertex of the parabola.
I know what that is, but the thing,
Oh, b squared over 2?
yeah, b squared over 2a plus something.
Plus my started.
Don't you know all math ever, Joe?
I have.
That's
Oh,
how
I know.
There's a bunch of different ways to manipulate quadratics. It sounds like you're talking about one of those.
Yeah, it
My guess is that that's the positive answer out of the quadratic formula.
was pretty nifty.
So that would be, right, if you plugged in the quadratic formula, you'd be looking at negative b over 2a plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac over 2a. And you really know it's the plus one, so you could take these and shove them in there. That's going to tell you when p is 0.
That's legit.
You guys all good with that?
So you can just set up a whole bunch of other differential equations for once it's up to the top. Because then there's no
Oh my god.
velocity.
Yeah,
Then you don't
that's
have to
really
do
what
that.
this is, right?
Yeah.
That's me, like, taking this information and making a different differential equation and solving it.
Never realized that was
Cool.
differential equations.
Cool.
Yeah, this is like the kind of
The
easiest,
Well, can't like
like,
anything be
classic
differential
mechanics.
equation?
I mean,
Just about.
probably, yeah. Most anything you're gonna encounter in a physics classroom is either a differential equation or the result
turn it
of
into
solving
one,
a
right?
differential equation. Yeah.
Yeah, like I saw.
I mean, that's why this field was invented. Like, no mathematician was ever like, hey, you know what, I'm gonna study differential equations for fun. They were like,
Oh wait, that's me. No.
I need to use a catapult to hit shit, or the king will kill me. I'm gonna solve this.
Well, because I saw RLC circuits.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, yeah.
Circuitry is another great, like, that's differential equations. We're gonna do some switching stuff and some hammer stuff when we get towards the end.